What is up, YouTube? I am Shack Central, and this is the Uniquely Hardcore Challenge. In this series, I am attempting to collect every unique item in Path of Exile, not just in the solo self-found game mode, but in hardcore as well. It's going to be a long grind, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So sit back and join me for today's unique experience. All right, this is a momentous occasion in our progress in Ritual League. I said at the beginning it's kind of click intensive and super annoying, but I said at the beginning I wanted to get up to somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,500 to 3,000 wisdom scrolls before I turned them off in the filter, and felt pretty comfortable that they'd last us a long time, if not the duration of the league. And with the last map, we just hit 3,000 wisdom scrolls, so I can finally give my fingers a break, turn them off in the loot filter, and feel confident that I can just run around with a stack, pop them in my stash, and not feel like we're going to run out at all. This brings up another thing I've been trying to figure out, what to do about heist in general. Like, I don't know if there's a specific build that necessarily, like, I would assume because of the way that the open doors work and the enemies stacking up on doors, something that has crazy ranged AoE is obviously going to be very, very good. So you can, like, stand, like, for instance, if in this doorway, if that had just opened, oh, hold on, you know, freaking ghost dude. So, like, if this doorway had just opened, I could sit back here and just nuke the group. That way we don't get this thing. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to want to do melee as a heist-specific character. But I don't know what else, I don't know, I haven't, like, this is as close as I get to being ranged. Just pop down my Vol Ancestral War Chief. So yeah, I haven't decided on a build for it yet, because that's another thing I want to start getting leveled soon so we can run them. Because if nothing else, they're still a great source of currency. That's what I wish I could play, because that's the kind of music I'd like to have on the background anyway. Which is why I say, like, the jazz station they offered is fine. It's fine jazz, like, musically, it's very good, but it's not stream music at all. Hey, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey now, we gonna swap to malls? Yo, this is big. All right, no dying, no dying. That is the first 6 link we found this league. Rituals or otherwise, that's the first 6 link, and it's a two-handed weapon. Okay. You ready? I'm gonna record a segment for the Uniquely Hardcore video live. Just gonna look at it right now. And then this segment will be in the actual video in a couple of videos. All right, what do we got? 6. Now I gotta get all professional. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I gotta sit up. Oh, my whole back just cracked. Yikes. You gotta do this so your voice just doesn't carry quite right. I don't have chat on screen anymore, do I? Okay, I shouldn't, because of apparently there's some sort of copyright, or not copyright. There's some sort of privacy law issue. That's why I took chat off the screen, because since I use the footage in YouTube videos, apparently it's not a good idea. All right, this unique roundup we're doing live on stream because GGG just released a patch that pretty much broke the game. There's a massive memory leak right now, so I tried one map, almost just died in a heist. So basically, we're chilling on stream, looking at gear, doing all this, and I realized I had a bunch of uniques to add to the list. So let's go through them real quick. Troll Timber Spire is just a big ol' armor shield for early on in the game. It's got a lot of life for level 17 shield, and it just wants you to be playing with totems. Gives you a bunch of AoE. Your totems leech life to you, which is pretty cool, and some more regen. The Bloodthorn is a basically no level required unique that has a lot of block chance, some good fizz damage for early in the game, and then you reflect a ton of damage to attackers when you block, as well as cursing them. So, not one you see used often early on, but a pretty powerful effect. All right, Lightbane Raiment is a ringmail, so it's an armor ES base. It's like a mid-leveling item, about level, well, it is level 47, not about level 47. It is. Converts some of your fizz damage to chaos. It also reflects chaos damage to melee attackers. And then when you block, so this is not a shield, remember, this is a body armor, but when you do block, you create desecrated ground. And then you take chaos damage over time while you're standing in desecrated ground, for those of you who do not know. The opposite of consecrated ground. Dark Ray Vectors are a pair of boots, like early endgame style boots. You get movement, so it does not have base movement speed bonus. It gives you 5% increased movement speed per frenzy charge and gives you +1 to maximum. So already, if you can get to max, it's a 20% move speed boot, and you can take it to the moon. It reduces your duration, though, of frenzy charges, and then you also have some increased benefits like dodge chance and stuff per frenzy charge. So cool pair of boots that can be used to give you a ton of move speed. The Magnate Belt gives you a bunch of strength, gives you fizz damage, increases the amount of flask charges that you gain, which is really cool. And importantly, wants you to have a bunch of strength. It gets you about a quarter of the way there, but if you can get to 200 strength, it gives you a bunch of all resistances, which is pretty cool. And then finally, Fight for Survival is the threshold jewel for Frostblaze. You can run 2 of these, so you can stack up this effect twice. It gives them cold resistance penetration and projectile speed. So those 6 will get added to the list. And yeah, making good progress. That gets us pretty close to 250. I think we need, what, 3 more to go? We'll be at 250. All right, there we go. There you get to hear the broadcasting voice. Feels very strange to do on stream. So this is a unique roundup that I'm super excited for. I've been waiting on this one for a little bit. Got a couple of really exciting things from it, and including one that I thought I wasn't going to get because I could not have deferred it in one of the rituals. So let's just look at them. We got an Infractum bow. Always a little bit of a triggery item for me since I lost a 6-link one on day 1 of Heist League. So this has become like my nemesis. But it has a ton of fizz damage. It gives you movement speed. Cannot leech, but your arrows pierce everything. It's really cool. Stormcloud is kind of the reverse. This is a little bit higher level item. Stormcloud is low level. Does no fizz damage, does all lightning damage, and this is one we're going to need multiples of because we need the faded version. Victario's Charity shield, high life, some lightning res, chaos res on a unique shield, which is not always super easy to get. You get increased AoE of aura skills if you're some kind of aura bot, some kind of necromancer, and then you have a chance to grant a power charge and a frenzy charge to nearby allies, either on kill for the power or on hit for the frenzy charge. Deep One's Hide, kind of a cool art, like very simple, but just the flavor of the title and the art and everything, it's just, you know right what it is, which is really neat. It's an attack shield, gives you fizz damage and cold damage, and then when you block, you curse enemies with a very high effect vulnerability curse. I'm gonna go. Let's go with this first. Overflowing Chalice is this is kind of a cool one. It has incredibly high charge recovery. You're getting basically double the charges for it. It lasts 10% longer. But then the bottom 2 lines are kind of interesting. So it gains no charges during the effect of any Overflowing Chalice flask. So while this flask is active, it cannot gain charges. And then while this flask is active, your other flasks gain 100% increased charges. So this has been used in a bunch of cool builds. It's just a very cool item, but when you kind of makes you think about how to best build around it. Fireborn is a jewel which makes increases and reductions to other damage types in its radius. They're all just applied to fire damage. So increase fire damage, reduce fire damage, anything like that in the radius of this instead of other damage types. Overwhelming Odds is the oh shoot, I can't remember the name now. What are they called? The Threshold. It's a threshold jewel for the cleave skill. All right, let's go with gloves. So this is what made me really excited. The Oscarm is one that I kind of gave up earlier. I knew we'd find. I mean, this is a very common glove. I knew we'd find a bunch, but it was sad that I had to give it up to get something else in a ritual. So I'm glad it came back so quickly. It is a pretty cool glove. It triggers level 10 Assassin's Mark when you hit a rare or a unique enemy. Gives you some life. It lowers your chaos resistance, but it gives you a chance to dodge spell hits, and then you basically the more accuracy you can stack on this, it gives you more critical strike chance for every 200 accuracy. And this is what I'm super excited about. This is what triggered me to just go ahead and do the roundup now. Was I just finished the 12th Watchstone, killing the Hunter Alhesman, and he dropped a Conqueror only drop, which I've never gotten before. Pain Seeker, very cool. It adds all 3 elemental types to your attacks, gives you a bunch of evasion rating. Critical strikes do not inherently apply non-damaging ailments. So very interesting line there. They're not guaranteed on a crit strike, but you inflict your non-damaging ailments as though you were dealing 171% more damage. So when you do deal those non-damaging ailments, shock, chill, I should have looked them up beforehand. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But when you inflict non-damaging ailments, it's as if you were doing almost 200% more damage. As a matter of fact, I wonder what the range is. I didn't even look. Yeah, so it can go up to 200. That's kind of what I was guessing. It's a very, very cool item and one of the Conqueror only drops I'm glad we got out of the way. Druid Scorn is a helmet. It gives +2 to curse gems, has a bunch of energy shield for how low level the amulet is, and then it gives you more elemental damage, and then even more damage with hits and ailments for each curse on the enemy. Curse-based helmet that gives you additional damage, so pretty cool. Dendrobate. It gives all your socketed gems level 10 lesser well, it gives socketed gems. They're supported by level 10 lesser poison. It gives you more damage with poison if you have at least 300 dex, and it gives you more poison duration if you have at least 150 intelligence. So if you haven't figured out what I want you to do yet, you might want to go the poison route. Diala's Malefaction is it's fascinating. So it doesn't matter what color the sockets are in this thing. You can ignore socket color. You can put whatever gems you want in whatever slots. Gems in the red sockets have +1 level. Gems in green have +10 quality. Gems in blue sockets gain more experience, and it has absolutely no attribute requirement. So a fascinating chess piece. Very cool. Not super useful. Very cool. And the one I'm super pumped about just as much as Painseeker is the Heist. Wait, is it Heist? Oh, hold on. It's not Heist. Harvest. Sorry, I always get that mixed up. It's a Harvest unique. The Flesh Crafter. So it gives you a decent amount of energy shield. Your minions convert 2% of their life to energy shield per 1% chaos resistance. So be aware that this instantly kills chaos golems because they have a natural 60. And if you get anything else up to 50% chaos res, your minions will die instantly. But your chaos damage does not bypass your minion's energy shield. So it's a lot like a minion Chevron's wrappings. Your minions start their energy shield recharge faster, and while they have energy shield, this is the big one, their hits ignore monster elemental resistances. So if you're doing a minion build, your minions deal a lot of elemental damage. This is something to look into. It is pretty stinking cool. So that takes us up to, 260? We are climbing closer to 300 now. Okay, this is going to be attempt number 2. Bated breath, double corruption. I want to hit a good one. I'm terrified. First one turned into a shaper item. This one. Oh, we did. I mean, we got something. Oh, that's pretty legit. That 4% increased intelligence more than makes up for. I think it should definitely more than make up for the implicit that we lost. Plus, better discipline. Oh, I'm into that. That was a great first hit. Okay. Sweet. Great first hit. Okay, so here comes something I'm very scared of. This is the first of our 4 boss fights. So Maven's Invitation, 4 boss fights. I know one of them is the big golem that does chaos damage. So I'm slightly terrified. Malagaro, chaos damage. Oh boy, this can be fun. I'm forgetting what these are because it's been a while since I started adding them up. All right, let's do this. One down. 2 down. Did I mention my damage has gotten a lot better? 3 down. Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Whew. It was legitimately not bad. The damage has gotten a lot better. A lot of the stuff I've now flipped around and 20 quality'd. and I'm in the process of leveling it up. So feels pretty good. The AoE's a lot better now, and yeah, just gonna keep going. Well, check this out. So I was going through the ossuary. Been leveling up a Trickster Vortex to play on stream and just to get another Vortex guy going. And this popped out. Just a random. It was literally. It wasn't even. Was it a rare? It was either a magic or rare monster. Killed him. Dropped. So yeah, that'll be really useful for an attack build. There's a I mean that'll be useful. It's a medium eye level. It's only 69, but 6-link is going to be pretty dang good. So that's exciting. All right, so a little bit of a smaller haul. I think in general, as we get up into the 300 plus uniques, hopefully these hauls will be getting smaller and we'll be getting more into like the one-off individual uniques. But regardless, I'm about to stream, so I want to get these cleared out so we can get that going. So we've got 7 more uniques to add to the list. I mean, technically they're already in the list. That's why we're at 267. But let's get into it. Reaper's Pursuit. This is like a mid-level two-handed axe. Got a lot of fizz damage. Got some rarity on it, which is really cool. Life gain on kill for the sustain. You get movement speed when you're on full life, so it's even got move speed. This thing has everything. It's got Calling Strike, and, really importantly, your hits can't be evaded. Actually, like, legitimately very good leveling weapon. Oro's Sacrifice. It is a two-handed sword. So we had a two-handed axe, we got a two-handed sword. Requires level 67, so you're not gonna be using this till you get at least close to the end of the axe, if that. No fizz damage, purely fire damage on the sword. Attack speed, it's got a 20% chance to ignite. You take more damage though, so it's got kind of a downside. Yeah, I mean, there's no way else to say it. You take more fizz damage, you take more fire damage, but you have Calling Strike against burning enemies, and if your attack ignites an enemy, you get a Frenzy Charge. So this thing wants you to go fast, hit hard with fire damage, and you're going to want to be leeching because otherwise you're going to take a lot more damage than you think you are. On's Might is a one-handed sword. Again, like high level, requires level 68, so that's more end of the campaign, early maps. It has a very high strength requirement, very high, but it adds a lot of fizz damage. It has more crit chance. It gives you -1, not +1, no, -1 to your max frenzy charges, but it gives you AoE, and while you have no frenzy charges, you get a ton of crit multi, but while you're at your maximum, you get a bunch of accuracy. A little bit of a trade-off there. I don't actually know, that does bring up the question, what if your max frenzy charges is 0? Do you get both benefits? I actually don't know that. It seems like you would, but I'll have to look that up. Kongming's Stratagem is a shield. It's a spirit shield, pure ES shield, so you do get the spell damage implicit. You trigger a level 20 Fog of War when one of your traps is triggered. Does it say what that does? No. All right, I'll have to figure that out. Gives you intelligence, bunch of energy shield, actually very high energy shield for that level of item. You get increased fire damage with hits and ailments against blinded enemies. You take less spell damage from blinded enemies, but the downside of this is it has no chance to block. This really isn't much of a shield as much as it is a vessel for other things like the Fog of War and more damage. I don't know how to pronounce this. Matua Tupuna? Hakuna Matata is another spirit shield. Gives you pretty low energy shield, but that's not the point of it. The point is you get +2 to level of minion gems. You get increased effect of your non-curse auras on your minions. You spread tar when you take critical strikes. A little bit of defense is built in there. And then, again, more increased effect of non-curse auras from your skills. So you get it both for yourself and your minions. Doesn't really make sense to me why that's not just put into one line, but okay. 3-Step Assault is another high-level item for your late map or your late campaign early mapping. Gives you dex, gives you a bunch of evasion rating during onslaught. Very important. But it basically operates as like a well-rolled Jade Flask, whatever it's called. I have one. Of reflexes. It acts as like a perfectly rolled reflexes flask during onslaught. You get a bunch of life, you get a bunch of movement speed, and then while you're phasing, which we are all the time if you're playing Vortex, which is fun, you get a 10% chance to dodge spell hits. Pretty cool boots. Finally, Frozen Trail. Frozen Trail is pretty simple. It is the threshold jewel for Frostbolt. I almost said gem. It's not a gem. Threshold jewel for Frostbolt. So, yeah, adding it to the list. We're at 267, and hopefully pretty soon we'll be crossing that 300 threshold. Oh! Yo, 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 yo! All right, we're on get out alive mode. Okay. Just, oh, wow. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. This is fine. Not even that excited. Not even that excited. Don't even worry about it. All right. So that's a thing. Boom. Okay. Let's fight. Let's duke it out. The last one I thought was gonna kill me. I did one other. I've done one other four boss fight so far. I went into it and I was like, this is definitely gonna kill me, and it was the easiest one I'd had so far. Oh, I don't like that at all. Woohoo! All right, cool. Oh boy, calm down, bud. Easy. Easy game. I don't like that. It looks like he popped out of the ground twice. I hope I'm not on like a delay. I'm hoping not like. Oh boy. Okay, get control again. There we go. We're back in control. Adios. All right. So, wow. I couldn't tell when it popped on the ground. I wasn't sure whether I was going to be more excited if it was Roomies or Lion's Roar. But we'll get a Lion's Roar. So I managed to. It took a lot of alts. It took like 60 alts or so. I finally got a Seething Flask. And was able to move the warding from here over to there, so I can now pop this out. And yeah, I mean that's pretty nuts. So that is a massive upgrade. Feels very good, and Lion's Roar is going on the list. All right, good old Harvest unique swap. Change a unique into a random unique ring, amulet, or belt. So let's grab a little Ice Tomb action there. And wow, that was terrible. That's it. That's terrible. All right, I didn't realize sitting right above this unique change was actually, it was scrolled all the way down. There was another change unique into a random unique weapon, so I took the Araku Tiki we got in there, swapped it in this one, and got Wings of Entropy, which is a unique two-handed axe that we had not had before. So pretty cool. Get a new unique out of it. Thanks, Harvest. Okay, we've got a big old progress update. Unfortunately, actually, the first update, I lost my only gold rim and my only wanderlust I found so far. The Necromancer character I had been leveling got fully one shot in. Actually, I shouldn't say fully. Got about 95% one shot in Merc Lab. Very unfortunate. It was close to being block capped. It was above 50% block chance. It was actually above 60% block chance. Had a ton of life regen and actually had about 2,400 life and just got destroyed by Azaro on one of the slashes. So that's unfortunate. But we get other new uniques to get, so let's go over them. Starting with Mark of the Doubting Knight. This is a dagger. It gives you additional block chance while you are dual wielding. It gives you a lot of fizz damage. It is a slower weapon. It reduces your attack speed, but it's a weapon that has all elemental resistances. And then when you crit, you have a 50% chance to cause bleeding and the same 50% chance to cause a poison. Pretty cool weapon. Dual wielding them is pretty cool. You kind of cosplay as a pirate. The Cane of Unraveling was a really cool one to get. It gives a massive amount of chaos damage. So huge chaos stop multi-roll, increased chaos damage on top of that. You get cast speed per power charge. It gives +2 to the level of all the chaos spell skill gems. Then you get a power charge after you spend 200 mana, so it kind of powers itself up and gives you more cast speed on its own. And then you also regenerate 2 mana per second per power charge. This cane is basically an entire build. It's a very cool item to get, and I'm really happy we got it. Wings of Entropy, we just got in a Harvest unique swap. It's a two-handed axe. It's pretty cool. It's like a little throwing type of chain weapon. Pretty unique art. It's got increased chance to block spell damage. You've got a higher chance to block attack damage while you are dual wielding. But you'll see where this is going in a second. This has 78% increased fizz damage. Actually, I mean, that's clearly a roll. I don't know why I said 78. It's got increased fizz damage. If it is in your main hand, it gives you additional fire damage. If it is in your offhand, it gives you additional chaos damage, and this counts as dual wielding. So while you have this, you can have it in one hand, and it counts as dual wielding. So it's a very cool item. The Covenant Spider Silk Robe socketed gems get level 15 added chaos. We got a lot of chaos weapons going on. Socketed gems also have blood magic, so you're going to spend your life to use whatever skill you have in there, but it is added chaos on top of it, and it's got both increased energy shield and a global increased max life. So good for hybrid builds if you want to be doing extra chaos and you have the life to spare with blood magic. Heat Shiver is a pretty cool one. We actually got a couple of these, so there's a spare one as a backup. It has a whole bunch of mana regen. It's got fire and cold resistance. It's another one of the, you can tell by the name Heat Shiver, it's another one of those items that plays with the hot and cold theme, fire and cold. Gives you increased cold damage if you used a fire skill recently, and gives you increased fire damage if you've used a cold skill recently. Let's see. Starkanja's Head is a staple, unique. It's got a lot of dexterity. When you are on low life, you deal a lot less damage, but as a trade-off, you've got increased attack speed, you've got crit chance, you've got pretty good evasion rating, you got a huge life roll on it, and then you do less damage when you're on low life, but it also gives you a massively increased evasion rating when you're on low life, so it helps you stay alive. Calm's Roots are the movement ones, has no sockets, you cannot be knocked back, it has a massive life roll, but the big thing is action speed cannot be modified to below base value, so you're never going to go slower than your character's normal move speed. And then Unwavering Stance means you cannot evade enemy attacks, but you also cannot be stunned. So you can't be stunned, can't be knocked back, but it has no sockets on it. The Eternal Apple's Shield triggers a socketed Warcry skill when you lose endurance charges. So clearly some kind of build around in terms of where you put your gems and what you want to do with them. Gives you a lot of life, some chaos res. But there is the line. So when you reach your max endurance charges, you lose all your endurance charges, and that'll immediately trigger the first line, which is trigger socketed Warcries. You cannot block with this shield. It's literally it's not that it has no block, it's you cannot block. But then it also gives 50% increased Warcry cooldown recovery rate. Very strange shield. I don't think I've ever seen it used. It has an interesting, some interesting lines on it, but it's kind of very strange. Pyro Shock Clasp, leather belt. It's got dexterity. It's got a lot of evasion rating, like another item's worth of evasion rating. If you have elemental ailments that you're applying to enemies, it gives them greater duration. And then enemies ignited by you, you can kind of read it. It takes enemies that you ignite and shock and turns some of their physical damage into fire and then lightning. So makes it a little easier to mitigate that through your elemental resistances. And finally, we have Olmec's Sanctum, a unique map. It's an interesting one. It's actually designed by a person based on an old Nickelodeon show. It's kind of cool if you didn't know that. Based on Legends of the Hidden Temple. But basically, you go through a bunch of wings, you kill a bunch of big old totems, and then in the middle, they kind of all get assembled together into one bigger totem that you kill. So, yeah, we lost a couple of uniques, but we got all those to add to the pile, and we are creeping closer to 300, so we're making very good progress. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. I decided rather than just pull up a generic image of me standing in the client next to some random person in a town, you get a little sneak peek at what my typical editing software and layout looks like. So, yeah, I mean, enjoy this for what it is. So a quick update I wanted to give this week, instead of starting on Friday, on February 26th, for 1 week, instead of playing in the normal ritual hardcore SSF league, pursuing kind of this challenge, I'm going to be taking a week and playing in the Badger private league. For those of you who don't know, Badger is a fantastic YouTuber and streamer, and he has basically put together, for the last few leagues, this private league that he runs that's very cool. It's team-based. It's like faction-based. You get points for leveling, for doing certain objectives. They are extremely fun. It's the only thing I've ever seen in Path of Exile where you're playing on a massive team of, I think there's already like over 1,000 people in this league. So at minimum, there's 4 teams this time, and there's going to be like a 250-person team. They're kind of crazy, and they're really fun. And it only runs for a week. So I'm actually going to be taking a week to play in that. I will be streaming it, and I hope to see you there. So it'll be kind of a nice way to take a step back from this just for a little bit, kind of refresh and get ready to dive right back in afterwards. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week. We're making really good progress as usual. This video should go live tomorrow, which will be my birthday. So yeah, it'll be a fun week. Birthday stream potentially tomorrow night. I don't really know what my plans are. And yeah, then next, starting on Friday, I'll be doing a long stream, almost like a league start for the Badger Private League. So hope to see you there. I have been Shaq Central, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.